They'll certainly want to avoid going forward. An early second and long they're facing. Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So much for coming out throwing as it leads to an early second down and long. Now Prescott. Smith catches left side. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Prescott from the gun. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Vernon Hargraves with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how he wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is where we find out what he has underneath that jersey, because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
Following the interception, Winston. He's going to take a shot right away. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Out of his end zone, Winston. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. From their own 2, Charles, they opted to throw it instead of run it. We saw the outcome.
I think what a lot of teams count on is defenses to stack the line of scrimmage, trying to force a safety or force a turnover there. But if you've got a good defensive front, you just allow them to play the run, and everyone else stays ready, and they were, and they picked that one off.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. The give is to Elliott. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make it 3rd down.
Should go 46. Here we go. 47.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Charles Tapper in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. And his kick is right there. It's good. And the Cowboys are going to jump out to a 3-0 lead. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Jameis now on 1st down. And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. Randy Gregory in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. And now the Cowboys are going to call another timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining.
Okay.
From the gun, Winston. Over the middle, he finds Godwin complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A gain of 32 that time. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. A 1st down throw for Winston. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. A 2nd down throw for Winston. And he dumps it off to Blount. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
But it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Open man there is Patterson, complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 18 yards on his first catch of the game. It's a 1st down. First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. 1st and 10 at the 19. From the red zone now, Winston. Over the middle to Smith. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter. They've got a 2nd and 9 to start things out.
Hey, let's get it converted. Easy. Sonic. Push that up.
And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And with that, they're now out of timeouts, and still plenty of time remaining here in this second quarter. Now a first carry for LeGarrette Blount. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. This Cowboy defense looked ready for that third down pass. Brings up fourth. On is Chandler Catanzaro now for the Buccaneer field goal. From the left hash, this from 39. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And that will tie us at 3-3. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start the drive with Elliott, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 at a first down. Prescott on first down. Oh, Prescott stripped, but I believe a Cowboy was there to get it. He was, and Dallas will maintain possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Second down, Prescott. Throw left side complete. It's Smith. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a third down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
On third down, it's Prescott. This is caught by Williams. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
46. Here you go. Here you go, 47. 26.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in the good defensive position, able to affect the play.
A 2nd down throw for Prescott. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
47. 26.
First down, Prescott. He's going to rifle one deep left into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. 1:59 to go in the first half. We're back to Arlington right after this timeout.
Easy.
They start on the ground here with Blunt. And Blunt loses the football. But it looks like a Buccaneer was able to corral it. Yes, the Bucs have it. Tampa Bay keeps the possession.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Let's go now. Let's convert. Green, Trevor C.
Now Jameis on second down. And that's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Follow. Green, Trevor C.
Winston drops it to Jones in the flat. And they're going to get the first down here across the 15-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets them a new set of downs. On 1st and 10, Winston. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To the air again with Winston. Over the middle, he gets it to Patterson. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. First down, Winston. A dump underneath to Jones. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll bring up a second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. So, of course, they declined that there. They knew they had the free play. They got great yardage out of it.
It's kind of like when we were at dinner last night. You saw me reach for the check, so you ordered dessert on top of it, right? You say you had the free play.
Yeah.
Right, already had what you needed. Go ahead and get a little more on top. I like it.
Winston now to throw on first down. This is caught inside the 15. And they move this all the way down to the 9. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll throw again. Winston dancing to his left. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it. Incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Again, it's Winston. Going underneath to Blunt. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. This is 3rd and goal now. 80,000 on their feet here in Arlington. Jameis again. Flush to his right. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jalen Smith. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Final 10 seconds of the half as they've got it 1st and 10. They start on the ground with Elliott. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Second half ready to roll. 2 field goals, the combined output in half number 1. Could be first touchdown wins. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the 3rd quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. And almost intercepted. It would have been his 2nd pick of the game. Instead, it'll be 2nd down. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Well, pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Looking downfield for Godwin. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Let's take it on the 25. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown! Cowboys are in for 6. Point after, up and good. And the lead is now 10-3. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Jameis to throw it. He sets to fire deep. And, Jameis intercepted a third time. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And he'll get this back across the midfield, striping down to the 47-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
They'll try and get the running game going with Elliott. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Stop made there by Gerald McCoy.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
46.
Prescott now on second down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Nicholson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. The Cowboys on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll be 4th down. So now on comes the field goal unit. And wow, this is no ordinary try here. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll make it a 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Second down, Winston. He's going to air one out. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 30. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
It's coming now. Here we go, 46. Here we go, 46. 41's the whip. 26.
A second down throw for Prescott. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Charles Tapper in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. They'll need a big play here. Will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long.
Here we go, 47. 26.
Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And then finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. They get 1 yard back there to make it 2nd and 14. Now a second down throw for Winston. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. 3rd and long for Winston. It's caught by Mike Evans. And he's able to get up here to the 26. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Here's Ryan Allen now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. It's taken to the 26. Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. Around the NFL, they've gone to the 3rd in Cleveland. And you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. They'll pitch it out to Elliott. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
Under.
Prescott now from the 50. Over the middle, complete. It's Nicholson. Past the 20. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. And that one results in 35 yards. Back now in Arlington. It's the Cowboys with the football. They'll be looking to tack on to their lead as we get set for the 4th.
So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. 10th carry now for Elliott. He will push his way down to about the 14. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right.
47. 47. Here you go. 26.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The Cowboys on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Prescott from the gun. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Gerald McCoy with a big-time sack on 3rd down. And it'll be a loss of 7. And his kick is good. And the lead stretches. 16-3 now. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still 8 up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 24. Winston. That's caught by Howard. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play.
And Winston lost the football, and the Cowboys have recovered.
Brandon, I don't want to violate any of our broadcasting rules by declaring a game over before it's over, but that one, that puts them in real jeopardy there.
Absolutely. It was a 2-possession game. It is a 2-possession game at this stage in the 4th. They needed points out of that drive.
And obviously now, no chance at all to get those points that they so desperately needed.
A first carry for Elijah McGuire. And he's got this one down to the 10. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
They stay on the ground, but this time it's Elliott. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and all of a sudden here it's 3rd down.
They go to Elliott again. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. And now the Bucs deciding to take a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. And this one is right through. And that will swell the lead to 16. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
Now it's Patterson. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Over the middle, he finds Godwin complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. And he's been one of their few bright spots here this afternoon.
And as you pointed out, so far he's gotten his. That's not been the issue at all. But the teammates, the other guys, they've been shut down. That's why the defensive guys have to feel pretty good, even though he's over 100 yards.
Yeah, he topped 100 with that last catch. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Winston now from the 50. And that is incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
On 3rd down, Winston. Flushed out right. Now a desperation throw. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And he is finally out of bounds, just shy of the 5, all the way down at the 6. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. Now Jones. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
His throw incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
Third and goal, Winston. Eluding the pressure right. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Desperation time. Winston on 4th down. Flush to his right. This is caught. He's going to be stopped shy of the end zone. They get the completion but cannot push forward into the end zone. And it would appear the Cowboys are going to win this football game. Again to Elliott. And now where are they going to mark him here? Well, they say he did get back to the 1-yard line, but that could have easily been 2 points the other way.
really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
Ezekiel Elliott going to take it the distance. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott, 99 yards. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this, saying, all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
Now it's Patterson. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Bucs now. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone,
and he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Muhammad Wilkerson. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Now Jameis on second down. He's going to let it fly. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down. Definitely desperation time. This just looks like, hey, throw it down there, hope that your guy can make a play.
You want him to make a play, but if not, maybe you get a pass interference call. And you know in the NFL, that's a spot foul. You get all that yardage. That would be a big play.
Winston from the gun on third down. Escaping the pressure right. Now a desperate. And got his man complete. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the fourth. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Jameis now on first down. He's going to let it fly. And this is going to be intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Cowboys, they inch closer to respectability now at 3-6 on the year. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, the perfect season was apparently not meant to be as they drop to 7-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against San Francisco. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
walk out. All these bands I lost count, cause I'm too up right now. Too up right now. I'm two on one day on my third. I was too broke, now I'm too rich. Made 100K on my third ship. I'm a boy, so what? No, I'm a gangster. And you a boy? Man, we been getting money for a long time. We was out here hungry for a long time. I don't never really have no punchlines. And all you rappers looking like a lunch line. Ooh.